Hello and welcome to the making of for ONI's rigging. And well, I think it's a very special video for me because not always I have the opportunity to show the behind the scenes of the projects I work. And this project, especially, it's very close to my heart because it's very dear for me for many reasons. Especially, I really love the project, but also like the opportunity to work with the team and the experience was amazing. So I'm very happy and honored to be part of this project. And also there's one confession I want to say. It's like I knew these projects from the beginning. Like I read the scripts, I saw the animatics, I saw everything. But then when I eventually watched this show when it was released on Netflix with my kids, and I got very emotional. I knew what's gonna happen, but I couldn't hold that. So I think if you didn't watch it yet, I think you should watch it before watching this making of. And yeah, if you want to continue with the making of, so it's not gonna be any spoiler anyway, but maybe you're gonna see the behind the scenes, so it maybe lose a little bit of the magic, but I hope it's not. So please watch the show if you didn't watch it yet. So the first thing I want is to thanks everybody in the project. Obviously I cannot thanks everybody one by one, but I would like special thanks to Dice and Sarah. That Dice, it's the creator and the director of the project, and Sarah is the producer. They were very kind to allow me to show all these behind the scenes, but not only the rigs, but I'm gonna show like drawovers and feedbacks and things like that normally you don't have the opportunity to see when you see making ofs. And also of course big thanks to all the ONI team. I would like to mention especially like Chris for involving me in the project since the beginning of the CG test at I think was like maybe 3 years ago. It's been a long project. Also, I would like to thank Toshi and all the animation team for all the amazing feedback, drawovers, and patience iterating with the rigs. We will see some of this work in a few minutes. And also, I would like to thank Flip and Liz for the constant support and helping me to manage all the tasks concerning the rigging and the scheduling for all the project. And of course, like big thanks to all the members: Tonko House, Anima, Megalis, and Marsa. Okay, so also special thanks for the rigging team. Of course, the rigging part will be not possible without them. And yeah, I want to thank Ignacio, Juan, Muhammad, Nichakarn, Sosan, and Somchai. Thank you so much, guys. Okay, so ONI Thunder's Got a Tale. If you didn't watch it, I recommend you to watch it. And if you don't have Netflix, let's go to YouTube and you can see some of the videos. I'm not gonna play it here. I don't know how well this will go if I play this and then YouTube has these algorithms that maybe check out the video. So if I don't have the rights, but I will put these videos links on the description so you can watch it by yourself. So we have the official trailer, and also I would like to especially recommend to see this one, the inspiration behind ONI. This is a very nice video, and you will see how it was created, the beginnings of the project, and yeah, all the inspiration behind. Oops, sorry, I'm playing. Okay, so let's move forward for the content of this making of. So the first part, I will talk about the teamwork. So how this was possible was not only because me that I'm just presenting here, but it was a teamwork, and not only the like I'd say like it's the rigging team, but also the other teams involved, like from modeling to animation to rendering, even like everybody was contributing to everything, obviously, but especially for rigging, we had a big spread of like relations with other teams. Like for instance, in rendering, we did like the hair of the characters was done on Houdini, but the let's say it was driven with the geometries that we had on the rig. So it was a kind of a cage deform kind of system. And that when we were when later on the process, when there was like some renderings and some stuff, we also had like this relation with the rendering and the BF character effects team to bring some of these effects to completion with relation with the rig, and changing, updating the rigs, and improving every single stage of the process. Then we will go for the workflow, how it was managed. This is something that I don't often see in any making of or anywhere where it comments about rigging. It's how you manage the workflow, because the task it's huge, and we have a lot of micro tasks that we need to accomplish, and this is something that very often is overseen, and I think it's important to pay attention to this and to understand what's the work, not only just going to Maya in this case and do the rigs, but also how we process all this data. Then we will go for this rig technical overview. So this is going to be showing basic features of the rig and how was behaving. You will see how bad I'm posing the characters and how well ended up with the project at the end with the animation team. I sometimes I'm very surprised that the animators can get the expressions and the poses that they get with the rigs. That's very very special for me to see that come to life. Then the rig process at the data-centric build. If you are if you follow this channel for long, you will know that I'm very big on the data-centric approach. So basically it means like we serialize everything and we build clean every single time. So with that we can update quickly the rigs and have a big number of rigs under control and share a lot of data. And then we have the last section that will be this ask me anything questions that I will try to reply some of the questions, and probably some of them will be also replied during the process of this presentation. So yeah, I hope I don't miss anything. So teamwork. What I mean with teamwork, it's like rigging. It's not just doing the rigging part, but it's a lot of communication, a lot of iterations with different departments, with art direction, with animation, with rendering, with character effects, with modeling, and everybody basically. So I think this, for instance, this image that I have here was one of the so we have here the concept art, the paint, and here we have this one of the first poses that we will see later, that we were checking the rig and how this was looking. And I think that this overpaint was from Robert, if I'm not I'm not wrong, but I think it's from him. And then we have also like this kind of feedback on the expression. So you can see here we did the expression with the rig, and then we got these paint overs. Then we had a bunch of these paint overs over and over until we got the rigs in the right position. So in this case, it's I think we have the credits here. It's from Rebecca Chan, and you can see here this is very important because in many situations, we are riggers. We try to be this kind of person like Rina sense that we know a little bit of science or technology and a little bit of art, but indeed we are not like the best in any of the areas. So we need the help from more expert artists and better artists than us to guide us on the rigging process. So, and this is something that you can see some, I don't have reels up since long time ago, but when I had reels, you can see some of my work was maybe better than other, and it's not because I'm a different rigger or in many situations is because two main factors, I will say. One is obviously time. So you cannot judge a project just watching the project like the end result, but also like how much time we had for this project. So if we had a very short time and the project is okay, I mean, that's a great project. I mean, but if we have a good amount of time and the project is so, then that was like a bad project, no? So, but obviously the qualities vary on that. And the other very important factor is the team surrounding the rigging. So we don't work in isolation. We need a team of artists that help, or we work together to accomplish the best rig possible. And this is where the animation team, the animation supervisor, and the art director, and the modeling supervisor and modeling team comes together with rigging to create these assets. So here, for instance, we have one example that it's this from version 1 to version 2. You can see it's slightly, so you probably cannot notice, but you see the paint over that we had here, how that affected the rig itself. But here is not only the rig. So we actually went back to the model, changed the model, and then update the rig. So it's not like rigging only process. That's important to understand. It's this, what I'm iterating, like work of the team just doing over and over and over again. And this, one of the best parts of this project, this team, was that we were very happy to everybody to change it and to pull down our work and repeat it again until we got to the qualities that we were happy to. So I'm just gonna show you just here some of these boards that I created during the project, where we had this feedback. So you can see here how much work was put on this, like even the hands, the expression, the volumes. So all this feedback came from the art direction team, and then we pass it back to the rigging, and back again to animation, test, back, forward, and many of these iterations. So here, for instance, we have this, like how the brow wrinkle should be, so just a little bit, so this is not correct, this is not correct. So also the feedback, so here that's correct. So this kind of art direction, it's very important. And here we had these ones, I think was from Dice, and we can see here the before after. So we have this, the same pose. So we did this, so you can see here it's final kind of look depth of the character, close to final. And we have this, like this volume here, so how this should be looking. And you can see here the paint over with the volumes here. So let me show you a bit more. So this is before and after. Here on the mouth, before and after. Here on the cheeks. So you can see here where we had this pinch happening, and then here we had this paint over to inform and guide us the volumes that we have to say. So here we have these ones. So you can see here how we had this kind of wrinkles or wobbling here, and how it was directed to get a more clean shapes everywhere. So also from this is Naridon. By the way, I didn't say the names. It is Onari, that is the main character of the show, and this is Naridon, he's that. And again, here we had a lot of super nice direction that make to inform also the deformation of the body, how the volumes should behave, where we were expecting the articulations for the character. And especially these characters were very challenging because the designs of very short legs and arms, but very, very chubby. So that is not something that it's kind of easy, but at the same time, everybody was very eager, like to and positive to let's do it. Let's not change the design because it's something that is not the most easy thing to do in 3D. Normally in 3D, most simple things like spaghetti arms and legs and something like this, that it's obviously it's not like everything is going to be super much easier, but at least the deformation part, it can be easier, and you see how the belly should behave and everything. So that was a lot of work from the art and animation department. And I have here another one. This is a bit more in detail on some of the fine tuning of the characters. In this case was one thing that we had in some point, like there was this eyelash kind of black lines that give this kind of more stylized look to the characters. And you can see here, for instance, I'm just gonna check. Okay, so maybe this is right. So you can see here, this was the original. So we did that kind of shape. It was like a bit like this American football kind of shape, oval. And then here we had these corrections, like it make it a bit more thicker. And this is one of the feedbacks. We had a few iterations in every single step, so it was not like one and done. So we try really hard. You can see here before and afters, or different tries of the only for this part. And I have here another little example. So in this case, we have this test of the different poses. So this was from the animation team that was testing the poses from the beginning. And you can see, for instance, some like the difference on the hand. So we have the model, we have the design, we do that. I mean, modeling team does that. Then we rig the character in like, it's a very simple rig in terms of deformation, but enough to inform the proportions and the look of the poses. And then we do the poses and some animations. Then on that, we took the decision, okay, let's make the hand smaller, or move the height of the knees and things like that. So, and here you can see very clear the differences. And obviously, well, that was mainly really art direction and animation that felt that was needed, this kind of adjustments. So you can see here the poses, reference poses, and how the deformation should be, and so on. And here we have this, again, more notes like ratio motion, like this. Obviously this is a temporal, but from the beginning, this was one of the things that I was trying to not request, but like to how do you say, like to ask everybody that was giving feedback, that even if this is a work in progress rig, that, you know, the formation is not final, it's not the final quality, but just aim for the nodes to be final. So from the beginning we inform, like, okay, this is where we are aiming. And because some people they get a bit like scared or nervous when they receive notes from like the first stage of the ring. So, oh no, don't look at that, it's not finished, oh please don't consider that, it's not done. It's so you have this fear to receive feedback from the beginning. But I think it's really good if day one you receive like kind of almost feedback, okay, like this, or like, obviously this is a temporal thing, we know everybody is not going to end up like that. But getting that from day one, or from the beginning, from the first iterations, it's very good, because you automatically know where you're gonna end up. And that's something that I always say, that it's a luxury to have. Normally we don't have, because production circumstances, we don't have that many feedbacks, and this is something that and here in this project I was like super happy to receive, because it's a pure luxury. It's I mean, it's I don't know how to say, but it was like something that sadly we can have it always. So, and again, it's not like it's related for like something like time and production budget and things like that. But in this case, we work hard to get as much as we could from the time that we had. Okay, so let's move a little bit for the workflow. So workflow, it's the process. For me, it's not the technical workflow, but also like the managerial workflow. So how we handle these many assets and many characters now, because we did not only the characters, that we had a ton of characters, we did also like props, and there was a huge amount of assets to rig. So it was what I try to resume in 3 principles, and one is standardization and flexibility. So we always want to have a strong standard, so it's not like every character is different to another in a technical way. So we have a process, but at the same, this process cannot be rigid to like bend your arm to specific things. So when you need to be flexible, you need to be flexible. And what I mean is like this is a standard, and we can just deviate or have extra things that maybe, for instance, when standard is like the data center rigging, so we rebuild, we serialize everything and we rebuild. What happened is for certain specific cases, we don't want to rebuild everything, or maybe some parts were too difficult to code to rebuild. So we did by hand this rig that was I think for instance for ONI we have something on the skirt that we did like that. So we did this mini rig that is an asset that was done by hand because it was way faster than script everything that and then we import that on the process of this standard build. So we have this flexibility. So when we need to do handmade stuff, we do it, but when we incorporate that on the workflow of serialization and rebuilding. Then the second principle, it's no asset ownership for the team. In this case, I'm talking about the rigging team, and it's like because we have this strong standardization, everybody in the team can open and edit any asset at any given moment. And that was very important because, as you know, on these projects, they are very long projects. I've been like involved for several years, but not everybody was involved that long on the project. Sometimes you have like these production schedules where you say, okay, we have this big amount of work for this month, and then we're gonna keep like maybe 2 riggers for longer to make maintenance or more iterations, and then at the end it's gonna be 1 rig. In that case was me. I was the first and I was the last to leave the project, and it was, I mean, I'm very happy to it was great to have this experience because not always have this opportunity. So no asset ownership, so everybody can edit and understand the rigs. And the most important also, it's like because and this is a kind of a byproduct, it's because we have this standardization and this not asset ownership. The in a long project like this, you can open a rig after a few months, even a year, and you will understand what was done there because it's all scripted, it's all serialized, it's all there. So you can just go to the scripts, go to the serialized data and analyze that and very quickly understand what was going on there. And the third part of these workflow principles was the iteration and tasks. And well, the task is this never-ending to-do list. And when I mean never-ending is like these projects like this where we push as much as we can. It's the time, budget, and resources that we have to get the best quality that we can. There is a never-ending wants to improve things. So, and it's not like and ever it's finished. It's like we run out of time or budget or things. So, but we try to keep pushing until the end of the project everything. So, for instance, the you will see later, I'm going to show you some of these Kanban of some of the tickets that were open there. So we had some tasks that we never finished it. Because we're market as a CVV that could be better, or we just didn't have the time to ingest it, or we decided like, okay, it's gonna be good enough. But the thing is, like, we have this purpose to never end this constant improvement, and that's where it's the task and the iteration. So that's the third principle. And I did this little gif. I love this. This is seen from the project, and I feel like this Naridon here cooking. And so imagine we're cooking our rigs, and we think always we are under control. This is how we do every day on our lives, but obviously there is some unexpected things happening, and that's also something that's important to understand. Like for instance, we have like some design changes in some of the characters when we had like some animation done and things like that, and because we wanted to improve it. Like for instance, we had not all the characters has the eyebrow kind of wrinkles there. That was very important, especially for a couple of characters. But when we started, we didn't have that, and then we realized, oh, we really need to do that. So we had to go back to modeling and change the rigs. And I remember was Putaro, that was the Naridon brothers, and he has also like these wrinkles like Onari. And at some point in the production, we had like two different assets, one with and one without the these eyebrows kind of wrinkles there, because we need to change topology and some other things to make it work. So it was a very interesting challenge, and I hope we succeed and you didn't notice anything. But if you do a second watch to the project, you will maybe it's a nice thing to check it out if you can distinguish which one was one of the different assets on the same character, because that was interesting. So yeah, so even if we have these unexpected things, I think the mood always was like, Naridon, yeah, great, no problem, we just gonna work out this until we get the nicest things possible. So on the task management tools, so the first two you probably very common. So it's a shot grid, or used to be shotgun. I guess it was too violent, so they changed it to shot grid. And we use a lot of Google Sheets and Excel sheets. That I guess everybody in production use that kind of approach. And then we use the Kanban board, and the Kanban board is this. So basically, it's like Trello or other similar things. That you have different tickets, different tasks, you can consider tasks, and it represents different stages on the process, and we use that to organize things. So I'm gonna show you that in live. So always okay, so here I have opened the project, and well, I just Google it, so you can Google what's a Kanban board, so you can see it's explanation here in Wikipedia, and it's also very used in the agile software development. And basically you have these different stages. Okay, so anyway, so here it's the Kanban that we use. So we have here close like 274 tickets. That was the whole but I'm sorry, it was not the whole thing. The thing is we and in this case well, we use mainly this board. We had another board at the beginning, so it was a little more than these ones, but we changed it to this board. So if you're wondering what I'm using here, it's GitLab. GitLab is meant for software development. So if you are a developer watching this, you're probably familiar with GitLab, and we only use it the boards because it has this Kanban board, and this is something I wish ShotGrid had, because actually what we do in many situations is just reference tickets in ShotGrid, but we have it here. And I'm just gonna expand everything. so you can see clearly what's going on there. So we have here like from the left to the right the workflow. So here we have the tickets that we create for instance, we have some update model or some like a playback cache issues, something happened. Can be from the start the rig to any update from the maybe the model needs an update because there's a UV update and things like that. Then here it's the to do or waiting. So this is our open, and these normally are assigned. And you can see here there is not assignment to any. Normally it's an icon here with the user. And the reason is because this was at the end of the process. I mean, this is how the state ended up at the end of the project. And I was the only one at the time working on that. So I didn't assign anything because everything was assigned to me by default. So, and we had some memo here. So these ones are ones that for any reason we don't want to close. So we want to keep it there as a memo for any circumstance. Then here was the work in progress ones. The rig supervisor checks, in this case was me. And then we have the approve it to publish. So what means it's I put it here, so we go from here to here, from here to here, and here the person that was in charge of this task approve, like did the publish and close it. So in other projects we have maybe the animation supervisor check here, so on. In this we decided to do it like this, so we closed the ticket, animation supervisor got the notification via shotgun or a Slack, and it checked out, and if there was a new retake or new ticket, it was created on shotgun and transferred here. And again, in other projects we also allowed like we have the animation supervisor or the art director also ingesting here new tickets. This case was organized like that. And here when it's approved, I mean the rigger just move it here and close it. So we have also some tagging system for the tickets. So you can see here we have characters and we have props and sorry, it's there, props. And then we have usually like other if it's a retake, basically at this point everything was a retake, but not always. And it is high priority in purple, like do this as fast as you can. Also in some point we had some kind of time estimations. Not always was possible, but we try to give some estimations sometimes so we can prioritize different tasks. And yeah, so let's check out some of these. So I'm just gonna open this one. For instance, this one, it's the eye lines. So this is something I showed you before. So we were getting here before afters with some notes, adding some descriptions. So we try to keep that, and it's kind of a dialogue. So that's very nice because again, you can go here on this ticket and it's all related to that. Here we have like this facial retake. So for instance, you can see here the ticket that was related to this retake on shotgun, and here, well, some paint over. Sometimes we're like this, just simple. Like here, you can see here clearly we had a lot of wiggling here, and especially with these characters, we didn't have the eyelid, but indeed the eyelid was all there. So we had this huge amount of topology there on the eyelids, and when we close it, we can get this eyelid happening without creating an extra geometry or something like that. So we have this kind of feedback all the times, and to avoid these wrinkles. It was a bit challenging this character, especially because this area here we try to push as much as we can the difference between the eye and the face. So normally the human, we have a big space here, we have the cheeks and so on, but here it was greatly reduced. So it was one of the, again, some feedback here, some more paint overs. This for Narita. Okay, this is the same. some of the image reference I showed you before. And this, for instance, this is for Putaro. And you can see here the wrist issue that we had. So obviously this was reported by the animation team and fixed it. Here we had this one. This one, for instance, it's not from animation. This is from rendering, because we have this realistic eye structure, and obviously if we cross this on the render, so you see this is the sphere of the eye, and then we have the socket. So if the socket cross the eye, it's gonna cause like very like ugly highlight inside the eyes depending on the angle of the camera. So we had to change that. I think this is the one I show. Oh, this is, yeah. And yeah, basically that's how we manage that. And you can see here, I'm just gonna collapse this too, so you can see here the close one. So the name, the way that we did that is we put the names. So if I want to check and I say Onari, so you can search there everything related to Onari. So Onari doll, Onari mom, ball, Onari eyes. So we had Onari baby, again Onari doll. So tongue scale, for instance, let's check out this one. So this, oh yeah, sometimes just a ticket there to remember where we come from. And you see these kind of things, that probably this one was also going to modeling, and then again to rigging. Okay, so that is how we managed the workflow, the rigging team. But we also had this Google Sheets, and obviously the support of ShotGrid. Okay, so now it's time to move to the technical overview. Okay, I guess you are tired to see slides and like these command boards, and want to jump to the rigs. Okay, so let's do it. So here I have Onari. If you wonder, we use MGear 3.7 for this project. And well, basically we had some things that you maybe find different from the templates that, by the way, I'm gonna update these templates in the next MGear release. But for instance, here we have all the UI hosts here, and not here on the arm. Here on the arm we have this proxy host that basically have attached these callbacks, or that basically when I click here, you see I don't have the arm selected. When I click here, it selects this arm. It's not selecting there, and the reason it's for the parallel evaluation. So just changing that, so this it's only child of the world control, and then the rest of the controls are independent of the UI host, so that it's helping a lot to improve the performance on the rig. Even here, I guess because I'm recording and everything, it's very slow, but that was not the case on production. Okay, so the components that we use here were, you have all these components available on MGear, and you can see here we have the model group, that was the organization, and in the setup, and here on the roots we have the component roots. So these are all the like, for instance, the that you can find there, but it's the I think it's the arm free tangents. So we can see here we have the event visibility. So this one, it's this kind of arm that you can do that it's the so we go to MGear, it's the free tangent one, same for the legs. And yeah, the rigs doesn't have any special thing on the MGear itself. It's pretty vanilla one, so we don't have any in this case I don't think we did any custom component. But then we have a lot of hard work done on the deformation part. So you can see all these RBF and corrective line shapes triggering. You can see here how we did like this to help to deform. So we have this plus correction on the blade shapes. Then like for instance, we try to create these kind of automatizations on the cloth. So you can see here the skirt goes up and down when the shoulders move, so we ensure that it has this feeling of consistency on the fabric. And I think maybe there was some simulation in some shot, but the vast majority it was non-simulated. It's all full animated, so all the cloth, everything, it's rigged. So you have this is done with the RBF manager and some calculations. So you can see here also some corrective blend shapes, but this it's totally driven with that. And you can see here, for instance, the shoulder, the wrist. So we have these corrections I was commenting before on the feedback. So the character has this volume preservation, the same as the shoulder. So we had a range of motion and we tested and we tried. But in some situations, obviously the rig can go automatize so much. So in some situations, maybe there where we have a cross, or in other poses maybe we have something happening, and obviously we had more control. So we can go here and turn on all these controls. So you can see here we had a ton of controls for the animators just to control the cloth, because it was not simulated, so we need to get it right from the beginning. In terms of the facial, we approach this as a layered rig, and this is very similar to what I explained on my facial animation workshop. And you can see this, I mean, this is exactly how I explain it. And so we have this that you can scale, you can rotate, you can do all these kind of crazy things on the characters. And obviously I'm gonna destroy this, but you can see here we have this kind of like streams, and maybe sometimes, I mean, this pose is horrible, sorry, but here we have this pinch sometimes, so we can also use this delta mesh activation here. So this helps to round the lips and corner, so we got this very round corner. Okay, let me maybe just move this back. Oh, you can see it's so extreme, this pose. So we had this one. Well, I can move the whole facial, and we have for the lips. Just want to show you, like, because here the lips are going from this pinch close. So basically they are model close, and it's pinch in there. So when we open, we want it as round as much as possible and quicker as possible. So we have some corrective line shape there, so the triggers there, but even there you can see it's pinchiness there, and sometimes maybe if the I don't want to do so, you feel the just there the break there. So we added this extra delta, so you can see here that gives this extra smoothness and roundness. And we also had these soft tweaks over the place. So we had this, that, you know, this is another tool from M Gear that you can just place this here, and then you have this offset there, so it help to go a bit further on that. For the eyebrows, very simple, you can see here. And then we had the ability to move the eyebrows on top of the face. So obviously you can, with this you can go out of, we have some space happening here, but this one, for instance, it's kind of sliding, and the other it's just separating or adjusting this to the face there. Obviously we can cross that. And yeah, we have the facial tweakers there. Oh, this one, sorry. So all these are tweakers. One interesting challenge was the eyes. So here for the character we have, you can see all this topology that it's not visible there. You see how dense is this, and that was also a bit of a challenge. We went back and forward between the modeling team with Miriam and the rigging to define exactly how much or how many loops we needed and how we needed. So this was not just one straight go and like, oh, you need like that. So there was an iteration there. And yeah, we got this going on. So we have this closer, and you can close there. And also the eyes has different states. So we can see here that it's big and small light. And I'm sorry, here we have also this iris control, but it's not working on this rig here. The reason is because obviously I don't have the exact environment that I used to have on during the project, and the eye was driven with an animated alembic that was generated from Houdini, and then the animated alembic, so you can scroll the alembic animation and go to one specific pose, because we wanted to very specific sizes and scale, and also we wanted to have the rotation. So we have like a range of, I can remember, like maybe 200 frames of animation, and we control the animation to shape the pupil and iris. Okay, so yeah, that was one of the main characters. The other one, it's Naridon, Mr. Naridon here. And this one, as you can see, it represents a different set of challenges because the how the character complexion is. So one of the things we were sure is we didn't want to have this kind of shoulder square. So the shoulder, it's really inside the body. So we went shoulder on, so shoulder. So when we load the character, we have this nice shape here happening. So that was one of the big challenge. The other challenge obviously was the arm. So we have this a lot of correction plane shapes, but not only this, but the most like here also when we turn the arm, because it's very short, so almost the length that we have to play, it's almost the thickness also. So and especially when we deal with more than one axis here, we did a lot of corrective plane shapes. So how we did these corrective plane shapes, well, basically we use the shapes tool from Ingo, and you probably know this tool if you've been oh, nice. It doesn't want to open. Oops. Sorry. I made. Why is not open? It's not here. Okay. Oh yeah, here's it. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. Well, this is more like the technical overview. But yeah, I'm just jumping from one to another. Sorry, but yeah. Okay, let's go here on the body. Just gonna load this, and you can see all the corrections happening here. So you can see. Okay, let's see if I can expand this. And I'm just gonna reset the character. There we go. Sometimes you have this blue because it's negative. It's very, you see the value is very small, so it's not like a noticeable. And everything, it's a. I just want to Okay, so I show you here. Like we have this breeze happening, but then we have this, and then if we twist, so oops, not this one, twist in. So we have a lot of combinations and combos going on here right now. We have also for the fingers, necks, everything. So all the necks have this nice shape and volume preservation. So you can see here all the fingers, how the knuckles goes down there. And yeah, it was a lot of iteration going back and forward, as you see with the animation and the art team. Yeah, so this is only for the body. Let's see how many we had. Then we have also for the facial. The facial, I'm just gonna go on that maybe later, but you can see here facial. So we have the facial setup, and we have all these layers happening here. And here with Naridon also have this big mouth that can open, and yeah. Also the, if I remember correctly, these teeth can be switched, and task. Oh no, this is task leap, small fang. Oh yeah, the small fangs. So we can switch from one to another. So it's a blind shape. So we have this depending of the animation, and we have all these little tricks happening here on this character. Also for this skirt was kind of funny to do. He has underwear just in case, and we have this automatization, but you can see here for the leg, I mean it's very short, and it's part of the leg, it's happening on his belly. Okay, maybe I can show you that better. Just the skirt and the fundoshi. The fundoshi is this kind of Japanese classic underwear. So you can see here now how this is working. The because the character had very short legs, but also very wide. So the knees are just the height of the crotch. So you can see here the knees are here, and the leg, the actual leg, it's going. Okay, let me see if I can show you the leg. So here's all the joints, very small ones, but you can see. So it's there. So it's in the middle of the belly, but just under the skirt line. So that was the balance. And when we move, obviously it affects everything. But you can see here we have, obviously here you cannot do that. You need to go there and keep the volumes there happening. So this was a combination of like skinning, joints, corrective line shapes, and everything. I think it was one of the questions on the Ask Me Anything. It's how was this done? Okay, so going back to my presentation. So I'm just gonna go and do, well, basic the data-centric part and show you a little bit of the facial. So here I have the guide already prepared, and the guide, you can see here, this case, it's a very, so for instance here the leg, just, oh no, this is not the leg. Can I select the leg, please? Thank you. So it's this leg to joint, and for the arm, like, oh, look at that. So we have a specific component for this. Is the ONI arm, but I'm pretty sure these two are from the free tangents, or maybe it was small adjustments there and there. This is something I use, I mean I do very often, and it's like to adjust the default components for specific projects. So in this case, yeah, it's the free tangents one for sure, but it was created here. And for the leg, yeah, the leg is not the free tangent, it's the regular leg. So yeah, I was thinking we had the free tangents here. Okay, so yeah, no free tangents here for the legs. Obviously, well, didn't make too much sense to have here free tangents, because basically you don't have the space to do that. So how was this organized? Okay, let's do a quick check on the custom steps. So I'm not gonna go on the deep on the custom steps code. I just want to show you how many we have and do a little overview of what they do. So the first one, it's the path. This it's one relative to every like character. So in this case, let me check it out. They have this. This is ONI. I'm sorry, I'm checking in the other monitor. I'm not looking at camera, but okay. So this is Naridon serialized data. So this. So we can see here we have the animation, we have the scripts, we have this pre, and we have this path. So this is this one here, and basically this script is the one that informs the relative path for the rest. Then we have the import geo is in green. It means green. It means it's a shared script. It means other characters or other versions of the character may use this. This script. In this case, you can see here when I hover that you have this import geo, and then you have the status is active, and the share status, well, shared, and it's green, so it's clear there. And the share owner, in this, it's the custom steps folder. So what means custom step folder? Well, if we go to again to the folder here, so we can see this custom step folder is the owner. So we have the share folder here, scripts, pre, and we have this import geo. So this import geo here is this one here. And you can see the owner is the share folder under custom steps. In other like share custom steps, for instance, this one, you see the owner is Naridon. You see there? So if we go there, we can go again to the custom steps, we go to the characters, we go to Naridon, then here shared, and scripts, post, and we have this one. I don't remember which one I pointed, but was one of these ones. It was for the facial. And why is here? The reason because it's here is because the in this case Naridon only have the default Naridon, but in other characters maybe we have two versions of the character, but we share the same facial. So that's the reason. It's because under Naridon maybe you have here Naridon, I don't know, naked, for instance, and then it's gonna be here, but the facial is going to be the same. So why you put double? So you try to put it in the most like other folder as possible to the share scripts. Okay, so then what we have here, well, we have the init base that basically initialize some of the data. That we have the gimmick joins. The gimmick joins are joins that basically you can create from here, from the repeats, gimmick joins, and are these blended joins, and basically these ones. And if we go here, we check. Okay, I'm just gonna hide here, so you can see these yellow joins. These are this gimmick. They are generated there. There is the auto heap. Okay, so this, it's very interesting. The auto heap system, I showed you before that the leg was very short, and we had to put it inside the belly. But the auto heap, what it does, it's it rotates the hip at the same time. So you can see the control here. This control here, it's rotating. So this one, it's going to. So if I turn off the auto hip, this is what happens if you don't rotate your hip, and this is when you rotate the hip. So it's a 50%. So that helps to move all the geometry back and forward. So it doesn't look that bad when we don't rotate right there, but this it helps to keep better the volume also in the back part and so on. Then import skin pack. This I think you are familiar with these ones if you watch the workshop I have on the YouTube channel. The import shape. So this is one of the greatest things of Ingo's tool. It's that you can serialize everything. So we serialize it and we re-import every single time configuration of the jaw. So setting some parameters, how it behaves, so fine tuning. Then we have the facial structure. And in this case, it's very similar to the one I explained on the workshop. So if you want to go in more detail on that, just please check out the workshop. But basically we have several layers: proportion, move slide, lips, mouth, correctives, eye over, eyelids, tweakers, teeth, and everything that connects together. And this has his representation here on the liner. So almost every single of these ones has, like, here the proportions. You can see mouth slide, lips, eye over, eyelids, facial tweakers, and connect. So this one is not the only one that doesn't have local rig here. It's the structure that basically it's just setting up everything, and the rest it's and like the real build. Then we have this alembic eyes that I was commenting before that creates the control for the pupil dilatation, the eye lines, the big eye configuration. We have soft tweaks, high part, the fundoshi. It's this underwear, Japanese style. Proxy swap. This is the what I was commenting, this swap proxy thing that we can click here, but it's gonna select there. Armband configuration, so reset some stuff, configure some rotation orders, and on some animation pickers, clean up the RBF. That is basically creating the re-importing the RBF solver that I mean the RBF configuration that we can create from here. So we can go to RBF manager, and we have all the configurations here for the character. So this is exported with file export or export all, and then re-import again every time we build. And again, we can reuse this. For instance, Naridon and Putaro, they have similar bodies, they're brothers, and obviously we reuse part of this because I mean it was almost the same body. So without the almost, it was almost like I think it's maybe same body with slightly difference, but so we reuse a lot of this data because it's serialized, so we can port it from one rig to another and so on. And that was also very important. Like we did also like I mean a large amount of secondaries that were derivated from some main characters, and also the rig itself can morph to different proportions. So we have these different rigs, different characters. Okay, so then we have this callback here. This callback, what it does, it's calling this function and reevaluate nodes every time we load the character to ensure that everything is, because sometimes it doesn't evaluate when you open, so you want to reevaluate and be sure that it's then some delta mesh and the animation sets, these ones here that we use for the pipeline. Okay, so that's in a quick short way how we did that on technical side. Oh, sorry, on the data-centric technical part of the rig. And you're probably familiar with these structures. I'm not gonna go deep there, but you can see here, well, in the anim data, we have all the data, like the delta mesh thing also has some data. I mean, here, soft tweaks, lips, the RBF. Here's this one that have all the configurations and so on. Okay, so my voice is about to crack, but we have this section that it's about the ask me anything. Okay, cool. So for questions, it's from my friend Iker. Well, the approach for the facial rig, how did you decide what to solve with joints versus shapes? and well, some unique challenges on the production. Okay, so yeah, well, basically, yeah, it we try to do a lot of with joints and some layers, like for instance the open mouth and everything is done with these layers. And then here if we go to for instance the face proportions, if I load this on the shapes plugin, so you can see these these ones here are being triggered, but okay, let me see if I can just force the turn off all this. So this is what we get with joints only and layer rig. And then when yeah, if this wants to update, okay, I think with the recording it's getting super slow, but you can see this is what you get with the triggering. And the blend shapes, we try to make it only as a corrective blend shape, not like a full blend shape thing. So if that, I hope, replies the question. So use the blend shapes as a polishing stage, not as the base. Another question from Amrit. I hope I pronounced correctly your name. So the volume preservation for the thick characters is a complex answer. So what was the approach for the character volume preservation? How do you use the corrective joints? Okay, so yes, again, both of things. We use corrective joints here. So then these are exposed here, like this one. But also we use like the corrective blend shapes on top and a little bit of deformation, like delta mesh in some situations. And we didn't had I think, sorry, let me reread the question after the animation. Yeah, we didn't have shot sculpt face. I think maybe some shot had something. I'm probably, I think was Flip who was in charge of this. Maybe he can, if you listen in this and you can correct maybe on the comments on the video, it's very welcome. But yeah, I think maybe a little bit, but in general we try to avoid as much as possible any correction shot sculpting. So I will say it's probably none or close to none. But please, someone knows better than me, please correct someone on the team. Hercules question was, please show me complex workflow to local and global phase rig, and yeah, in example like the separation. So this is what I was showing here. The we have these layers there. So basically, I'm just gonna grab for you one of these, and here is not optimized at all. So I mean, we are plugging a blend shape after blend shape, and this is not good for performance. This is horrible actually, and it's something that I decided to keep it like that because the iteration was easier and simplify a little bit the process, but it's not something I will recommend as a go-to situation. And there is if you want to know how to optimize this better, and just gonna put a little plug here for my friends on Region Dojo and the class from Charles, that he has a full workshop on how to optimize rigs, and you can do it better than this. But basically, I was channeling one after the other, and the way I do it is I go from like bigger to smaller. So for instance, the body face only has one like joint for the whole body, sorry, for the whole body, for the forehead, and then it's split in different sections. For instance, here this is the proportions. You can see here, let me open NG Skin Tools, another of my go-to tools. Oh no, sorry, not update today. This is, so you can see this is the areas of the skinning for this layer. But then if we go for the mouth slide, that it's another layer that it's plugged here to this one. Okay, if I manage to make visible, interesting. For some reason, I cannot. I'm using the no. It's hotkey. It's not working. Um, hmm, maybe. Okay, I'm just gonna do it like that. Sorry for that. It's not sure why. Just gonna cut this so you can see it there. Oh wow. Um, maybe the shape is not visible. Oh, the camera was there. Sorry. Um, yeah. So here, if I paint this, so you can see this is a different skin cluster for a different layer. So we do this kind of layering. And again, if you want to check to see more about how this is done, you can check out the workshop on the same channel, and this YouTube channel. I meant. Pacific. Is there any reverse FK for the spine? Yes, no. Why? Okay, so and you're gonna use E. I mean, we have the IK here, and we have the FK. There is no switch IK FK. It's all in one kind of layer, and well, not layer. Sorry, in active at the same time. And the difference, it's like mainly it's the IK, it goes on top of the FK, so the FK offsets the IK. And also we have this that it's on the default spine, that is this auto spine position, so you can have this automatization here with just one control, many of the poses. Jan, okay, this is the procedural way to combine split guides hierarchies. Okay. Yes and not. You can from the mgear shifter guide manager, we load here, we have the templates, and in the template you can open a new guide, and here you can select part of the guide and re-import it or add it to the existing guide on your scene. I have a video on this on the YouTube channel, so you can check that. Yeah, you can consider this a procedural. You probably, if you check the code on the API, you can also like do it scripted instead of use the UI. Pretty sure, but yeah, we didn't use it on the project. That's the truth. But yeah, Darwin, the facial rig pickers were not there to automatize in the dressing room when it comes to the form in the cloud. Okay, so well, the thing is, we try to automatize as much as possible, but the clothes were very well, very basic, except well, unless for the main characters. But we have another character. Let me check it out if I am. I can show you. Sorry, as you can see, I didn't prepare this part. It's called where is 1 second. Attend. Okay, yeah, right. I'm just gonna grab. Then I'm not sure if this is the latest version. This is one of the work in progress. So Amatem is the bird. She's the daughter of Tengu. This is the teacher, and she has this Japanese beautiful kimono. And yeah, so in this case, the cloth was quite complex to rig because the okay. So here, the character had this. So and probably you don't Okay, let me. Sorry, I forgot some of the parts where are. Um, okay, shoulder, maybe here. Dress kimono visibility. Sleeve flap base, sleeve tweak. They're not visible here. So this there is a volume here happening. That is the feather thickness that was done on Houdini. And here what we did, it's you can see this sliding effect. So imagine, sorry, I cannot show you here the volume, but basically there is a volume there. I don't know why is not the volume visible. Let me see if I can. It's not there. I'm sorry. I don't know where is it, but it was a volume there. So and this when like accurated like to this kind of volume pushing, and this was calculated on the setup slip. I think that was the raycast here. So let me show you this. So this is how we did it. We recast this projection on top of the other. We used this as a local deformer, so we had this happening there, and this volume is closer to the feathers volume that we have on the final rig. So this geometry here. Okay, geometry. Yeah, this one. So you can see all the volume, and obviously you can check it out on the project itself, the final render. Also, it was very tricky to fold this, and we had a lot of controls to handle the, well, this is for this there, and this is semi-automatized there, but also like when she bends his arms and everything, there was a lot of going on this character. And yeah, that was the last question. So thank you so much. It's been 1 hour and more in one go. I hope it's not too boring. Sorry, I know sometimes when I'm explaining, maybe because I'm recording here alone, it can be a very boring, monotone kind of voice. But hopefully you enjoyed this making of, and please let me know what you think on the comments. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.